Hi Chefeteers, I'm Chef Nakia and I want you to be more confident in the kitchen. And even if that kitchen is outside, I want you to be confident there too. And no, I'm not talking about like you have a beautiful outdoor kitchen on your patio. I'm talking like in the wilderness kitchen. You may notice I'm wearing a little bit more casual of a shirt today. That's because we're going camping. Well, we're gonna talk about camping. I wouldn't necessarily call myself the most avid camper out there, but I do absolutely love going on a couple camping trips throughout the summer. Here we are in June. Probably some of us are preparing to go on our first camping trips of the year. So I wanted to share with you some of my favorite tools to take camping with me, some good recipes and meal ideas for when you go camping, and a few little tips about how to keep your food safe. Like, you guys know how much I love focusing on food safety and making sure we're all taking care to reduce our risk of foodborne illness. So yes, I will share with you some ideas to keep your food as safe as possible. And I've compiled a lot of these meal ideas into a webpage for you, so head down to the description of this video to find the link to send you there in case you want to add any of these into your camping bag and your upcoming camping to-do list. Camping, we don't want to sacrifice the quality or the flavor, the excitement of the meals that we're eating just because we're going to be out in the outdoors. So we need to focus on minimal cleanup, minimal prep, and quick to cook meals that we can pack up and take with us for our camping adventures. And I'm not specifically talking to RV campers here. Most of these ideas that I am sharing with you will be using a campfire to cook. So limited resources, limited tools, limited space in how much food you can take with you are three more considerations in what makes a good camping meal a good camping meal. Another aspect is oftentimes when we are camping, we're doing a lot of other very active things. Maybe we are rock climbing or kayaking or going on hikes throughout the day. Most likely we're being pretty active out there in the outdoors. So while these meals need to be quick and easy and come together with limited resources, like I said, they also need to be pretty nutritious and filling. So before I share with you the meal ideas specifically, I am going to touch on the food safety first because it is super duper important. Whenever you are packing up your food for camping, anything that needs to stay cold that is a potentially hazardous food, like a protein or a cut fruit, cut vegetables, already cooked rice, already cooked pasta, those things need to stay cold. The temperature danger zone is from 40 degrees to 140 degrees, and those potentially hazardous foods cannot live in that zone for longer than 2 hours. So when you are packing up your foods, be sure you have a cooler that will keep them very cold. And don't be afraid to pack ice packs in with those. And I'm gonna give you one extra bonus tip later. Stay tuned. And I'm gonna share with you one bonus tip to helping keep these things cold, but later, so stay tuned. But be sure that your cooler itself is a good quality, is good at keeping things cold, and you have plenty of ice and freezer packs and ways to keep that food cold for your camping trip. Now, I don't know if you're just going out for a quick out there, spend the night, come home, or if it's a 3, 4, 5 day adventure, but keep in mind how long you'll be gone from home. And if you are worried about not being able to add more ice, more freezer, frozen elements to your cooler as time goes on, then plan to eat up all of those potentially hazardous foods before your ice melts. because we definitely want to make sure that those foods stay cold. If you can take more than one cooler, I would recommend doing that. That way you can separate any raw proteins from anything else that you're going to eat. If you can't totally understand, just be sure to pack that raw, like chicken, raw hamburgers, brats, anything like that. Pack it in its own container, wrap it in plastic really well, put it in another airtight container. Just make sure that none of the juices from that can escape into the cooler and risk cross-contamination. Cross-contamination and increasing the risk of foodborne illness to your other foods. Another thing to be cognizant of is how much potable water accessibility there is where you are going, and or how you will wash your utensils. Like, will you be able to use them again or not? So you can definitely pack, a big jug of water and soap and a sponge and everything to clean your own dishes. Just understand the water disposal rules for your area, right? Places with a lot of bare activity, they don't want you just washing a spoon and letting that water fall on the ground. So be aware of that. Be aware of the accessibility to water. And if you don't think that you will be able to get your utensils clean after the first use, take some sort of bag or container that you can put those in and leave them there until you get home, and then you can wash them. Don't risk using dirty tools multiple times on potentially hazardous foods, because again, that can lead to cross-contamination, which leads to a higher risk of foodborne illness. And lastly, it can never be a bad idea to take a thermometer with you. So even if you aren't cooking meat and so you aren't super concerned about hitting a correct internal temperature, there might be a point where you want to check the food in your cooler to see what temperature it is. So have a thermometer on you. If you never use it the whole time you're out there, that's fine, but at least you do have it on you just in case, because that thermometer will give you very useful information. That way you can make the best decisions and reduce your risk of food poisoning. That's kind of the whole thing, right, of my whole food safety thing. Is we don't want to accidentally make ourselves sick by eating spoiled food. So especially, we never want to do that, but especially when we are out in the wilderness without the comforts of home, if you catch my drift. All right, so now that we've talked about the food safety element, let's get into some good meal ideas and recipes that we can use to make our camping food experience. Maybe it won't be 3 Michelin star, but it's definitely gonna be better than what you may have had in the past. Consider packing barbecue chicken for yourself. And you can do this 2 different ways. One way is more food safe, I would say. The other way is maybe a little bit riskier. However, it doesn't mean that it's super high risk and you can't do it. Let me get into them to explain what I mean. So the maybe riskier barbecue chicken way is you can take frozen chicken breast tenderloins or cuts of chicken barbecue sauce, and those s'mores holders, you can totally put the chicken on the edge of those and grill them over the campfire. Yes, you can also use a grate, so you don't have to use the stick thing. And then coat them in the barbecue sauce as they're cooking. Yay! You will want to make sure that they are cooked to their 165-degree safe internal temperature. And if that causes you any concern there, the second method might be better for you. And that is to make barbecue chicken in the crock pot before you leave. And you can even do this several weeks before you leave if you want. So because you are cooking this chicken in the crock pot, you will be very confident at home that you have gotten it up to its safe internal temperature. And you can do this with any other kind of meat if you want to. So you could do pulled pork instead of chicken if you want. And you could do buffalo chicken instead of barbecue chicken, or pesto chicken, or whatever flavors and sauce you like the best. But there's something about barbecue chicken when you're camping that to me just like tastes so good. So, tis the example I use. But go ahead and cook that chicken in the crock pot, and you can shred it if you want to. You can keep it as whatever cuts they were cooked as, and then cool them down, put them in food storage containers or reusable silicone bags, something like that, and freeze them. And then whenever you are packing up your camping cooler, the frozen chicken is like extra little freezer packs. That's my little extra tip from earlier. You can use frozen like fruit juices if you're going, like if you like apple juice or orange juice and you do them from concentrate, right? You can put those cans of like concentrate in as bonus freezer packs. Frozen chicken as bonus freezer packs. If you like frozen veggies, you can put packs of frozen veggies in, and then whenever you get to your campsite, you can steam them or cook them however you like. All of those kinds of foods can be extra bonus freezer packs, but be sure that you don't eat up all of your freezer packs and then you end up letting food spoil in your cooler. So that's the one caveat with it. But back to the barbecue chicken. Using that barbecue chicken as your main entree, even if you're out camping for 2 or 3 nights, you could eat that barbecue chicken for multiple different meals, and maybe what you pair it with can keep it exciting and a little bit different. Barbecue chicken is great for like barbecue chicken sandwiches, or you can put it in a bowl with some roasted veggies that you roasted over the fire, with some bread. If you packed bread with you, you could bring already made rice, or you could do pasta, the cold pasta method, which you just Google that and do like follow their tutorial. I won't walk you through that here. But you can create a pretty solid rounded out meal with your barbecue chicken as the superstar. For the most part, I do recommend shying away from fish when you're camping. Totally understand if you have like a camping fishing trip and you like just caught the fish and you clean it properly and all of that stuff like that. Amazing, yes. I just don't typically like buying fish from the grocery store and packing it and taking it. It's harder, it's more delicate to handle and more fragile in these like camping type situations. So I definitely do recommend proteins like pork or chicken, or like broth. I know a lot of people do like brats and dogs and things like that over the campfire too. You could also do kebabs. Those are nice because they're on their sticks, so they are easy to rotate, and you can do protein and veggies on those kebabs. Heck, even put pineapple on there, yum, and grill all of that over the fire. Really yummy. Kind of along with that is most vegetables over the fire are delicious. So roasted asparagus and corn on the cob. You can even do some really delicious roasted carrots, Brussels sprouts, bell peppers. So a lot of different roasted vegetables that you can plan to make when you're out camping. And if you are going to take a salad, like maybe you have a side salad, I recommend only take what you are confident you'll eat in about 48 hours. I just find from experience, typically that salad is not as appetizing more than 48 hours out. So don't pack, enough salad for like 5 days. Just pack it for the first couple, and then the last few days, maybe that's when you do roasted veggies, or you take some cans of veggies if you really want some veggies those days. So I mentioned the barbecue chicken sandwiches, and those can absolutely be great. Additionally, you can make some sandwiches and or wraps ahead of time and have those packed in food storage containers and have those in the cooler for very quick lunches. Sometimes when we camp, we have time for lunch. Sometimes we're so busy with other activities that maybe we skip lunch or we just eat a lot of snacks throughout the day. So yeah, I know lunch can be kind of like a hit or miss, but it's always nice to have something a little bit more substantial that doesn't take any time at all to just grab out and start eating. And let's go to breakfast and then we'll come back to snacks. I almost segued right into snacks, but no, let's not forget breakfast. Breakfast is an important meal of the day. Overnight oats can be a great breakfast option for camping. Also, eggs, while they can be fragile and you want to be careful, you know, packing them up and everything, they can cook really fast over the fire. So like a sunny side up or a scrambled egg or two could be a good option. Also, you could hard boil eggs at home before you leave and even peel them at home and then pack them up. Make sure they stay cold in your cooler, but those could be really nice, easy snacks or breakfast options. Also, if you're willing to take like a gallon of milk and cereal and you have little bowls to take with you when you're camping, of course cereal or something like a Pop-Tart type breakfast can also be a fun like camping option. I find with camping, yes, the meals are important, but snacks almost outrank them. Because we are not in our normal daily routines, and typically, like I said, we're being a lot more active than normal, we find ourselves wanting more snacks throughout the day. So I'm gonna share with you a few of my favorite camping and hiking snacks to keep on hand and take with you camping. Now, I'm sure you will not be surprised by my first few, like granola bars and trail mix and buckets of nuts and dried fruits and those kinds of things. Yes, those are definitely great to have on hand to keep with you. Those are lovely because they don't need to be kept cold, and they're easy to, you know, put in a little fanny pack or backpack as you're hiking along. You can just grab out a handful of nuts or, you know, eat a granola bar. Now you can definitely make your own granola bars at home before going or purchase them from the store. I also like making fruit and oat bars. Those are like baked, fully baked bars, or what I call trail mix bites. And it's almond butter, nuts, seeds, dry fruit, and I love putting colorful M&Ms because they make me so happy when I see them. But they're little like 2-bite balls. There's a decent amount of protein with the nut butter, and then they're nice and crunchy. I try not to make them too sweet because sometimes when I'm hiking, I find I have more sweet snacks on hand than what I really want, and just want something savory. So one of my favorite hiking snacks is mushroom jerky. I am not like vegan or vegetarian. I will eat normal jerky, but I am very picky about my jerky. I had a friend growing up in elementary school, I had a friend whose dad made the best turkey jerky, and so it has kind of ruined me because if it's not better than his, I don't want to eat it. And I've never had better turkey jerky than his. I digress. I make mushroom jerky for myself when I go hiking and camping because it's not sweet, it's that nice savory, it's super flavorful, and in my mind I'm not having it like compete against my memories from childhood of that delicious jerky. So the mushroom jerky, it's easy, very easy to make. It just takes a while in the oven. So make this on a day when maybe you're meal prepping or something so that the oven is on and you have a little bit of an eye on it, but it's not like you have to like stand over the stove as it's cooking or anything. You slice the mushrooms, you kind of marinate them in soy sauce and a bunch of spices, super delicious spices, and then you put them on a parchment lined sheet tray and bake them at a low temperature for like 2 hours until they dry out enough where, yes, I mean, you can totally bite through them and they're good to go, but they also aren't they aren't like a potentially hazardous food because they aren't so wet. What are some of your favorite hiking snacks? Because I do always love trying new hiking snacks. I try to eat like the majority of the time that I'm awake, and so when we're hiking and we're out and about, I definitely love taking different hiking snacks with me to try on the trail. So I would love to hear your suggestions in the comments below, or if there's a certain ingredient and you're wondering if I can make it into a hiking snack, because I would love a challenge like that too. Now to round out this video, I'm going to show you a couple of the items that I love taking with me when I go camping to effectively cook with. This here, it is a very nice set. It's like a non-stick type surface, and you can extend these plastic covered handles. So when you put this over the campfire, you can still grab it. These will protect your hand. They do get a little bit warm, so you definitely don't want these directly over the flame. But this is nice, definitely nice for like eggs in the morning or reheating anything. And this set also comes with something that's a little bit more like a stock pot, a small stock pot. Again, it has these little plastic handles. And soup is another great meal that you can prepare ahead of time and freeze and then take with you camping. So it can be like a freezer pack, and then you can just dump the soup in here and reheat it, because everything in that soup has already been thoroughly cooked. You're just reheating it to enjoy. I think soups are especially nice in like the shoulder season of camping, where as the sun goes down, it's getting a little bit chillier than maybe what you really want. And so that soup is nice and comforting. I also really like to take this like water kettle with me, because coffee is life, and I definitely need my coffee in the morning. But you also, if you want to take like oatmeal packets or things that need to be rehydrated, it's nice to have something that will very efficiently boil your water. And then we have these. These are not necessary, but I do love them. I love that we have them. They're little silverware that fold up like, so they are more space efficient when you're packing up your set. And I love, you guys know, I hate plastic waste, so I love finding ways to like conveniently avoid the plastic waste. I also have a few food storage containers that I typically only use for camping. That way I know that I won't run into a situation where I'm packing up for camping food and I run out of Tupperware. So I always have a couple food storage containers just dedicated to that. Then I love taking little bowls like this to eat out of. They're big. I mean, they're not huge, of course, but they're kind of big enough to be like plates or like bowls. And I like the taller sides because I don't want to be like chasing my food off of my plate and then it lands, you know, in the ground. Definitely don't want to like attract wildlife by leaving food on the ground. And I just find that these are a nice size. They're light and they're easy to clean and easy to pack. Pretty much anything that I take camping, I like for it to not be glass. Like I don't want it to be too fragile or breakable. So these bowls are not plastic. I don't remember exactly what material they're made from, but it's a natural material, but it feels kind of like plastic. Like it's durable like plastic without being synthetic like plastic. And then as far as like cooking equipment, I always have a couple pairs of tongs because they can be helpful in so many ways. A like flat spatula, a wooden spoon or two typically to stir things with, or like a silicone spoon. A lot of times I take a whisk just in case. I feel like it's probably not as necessary, but I always like to have at least one whisk on me. A vegetable peeler, a can opener, and then knives, of course. And I do actually have a specific set of camping knives that I keep. Potentially, like, consider maybe investing in a knife bag or a knife kit, like what you might see a professional chef carrying around. I do always take my camping knives in a knife kit to protect the knives and protect anything else that is packed around those knives. Be sure to wash them as well as you can, as quickly as you can. And always take a cutting board that is like easy to wash. Of course, if you have the largest car in the world and all of the room to pack a bunch of camping stuff, there's an endless list of food tools that I would say to take, but these will get you pretty far. Specifically look at the meals that you're planning to make and make sure that you have the appropriate tools for those meals. And whenever you are planning out your camping meals, just remember like minimal prep time, minimal cooking time. Be very cognizant of what the food safety requirements are going to be to minimize your risk of foodborne illness. And some of the things that we may take for granted at home, like endless potable water, you might run into some issues with out and about. So just keep that in mind. And depending on where you're going and how close you are to different towns or maybe like farmers markets in the area or anything, you may be able to replenish your supplies midway through your journey. So don't skip the opportunities to, especially if you're like traveling to a different part of the country, experience some of maybe the seasonal fruits or vegetables in that area that you might not have from home. So, you know, pack enough to be prepared, but maybe keep yourself open to trying some local stuff too. I hope you Chefeteers have amazing camping adventures in the summer ahead. Let me know in the comments if you have any good camping food tips, if you have any hiking snack recommendations, or if you have any questions or things that you want me to embellish upon. Embellish was a weird word to say there, but I'm gonna stick with it. Thank you, Chefeteers, so much for watching. I will see you again soon.